All right, today we began our talk about the real number system. We have lots of different kinds of numbers. We talk integers, just our negative and positive whole numbers here. Rational numbers, anything that can be written as a fraction. So any decimal that either repeats forever or ends at some point, like these two. Irrational numbers are ones that do not repeat. So pi, 3.141592, it keeps going forever and ever. Square root of 5 does not have a terminating decimal either. We don't have a specific number for the square root of 5. Now, the real numbers, which is what we talk about, is just the combination of the rationals and the irrational numbers. So that's what we are looking at. Now, just for some basic operations here, 12 plus 45, we've done before as 57. Now, if I do minus, always take the bigger number minus the smaller number and take the sign of the bigger. So 45 minus 12 gives me 33, and it's the sign of the bigger. Now, doing that subtraction means the same exact thing as adding a negative. So that's how I get negative 33 there yet again. All right, this one, 12 minus negative 45. Minus a negative, just like English double negatives, means plus a positive, so I get 57. And if both of them are negative, it's like I owe $12. Now I owe another $45. That means now I owe 57 total dollars. When I do fractions, if my denominator is the same, then I can add them together. 5/8 and 1/8 is 6/8. I can reduce that, dividing both the top and bottom by 2 to get 3/4. And this one here, 5/8 and 1/4. This is like saying 5 apples and 1 orange. They're not the same thing, so I cannot just go and immediately add them together. I need to make this so it's also an apple. To get from 4 to 8, I multiply by 2. I need to do the same up top. So 1 times 2 gives me 2. Now I have the same noun, the same fruit, if you want to say, and I can say 5 apples plus 2 apples gives me 7 apples. 7/8 as my answer. Now, same with subtraction. In this case, I can't multiply 2 by anything to get to 5, so my common denominator, I'm going to multiply 2 and 5 together to get 10. So I need to multiply top and bottom on this side by 5, top and bottom on this side by 2. So I should end up with 2 over 10 minus 5 over 10. So my answer should be negative 3/10 as my answer for that one. Okay, a couple more. If I have this one here, I'm just going to say this is 8 times 7. Sometimes it can be done with a dot. Sometimes it can be done with parentheses. I could write it 8 times 7 like that. The answer to that is 56. If I have one negative, a negative times a positive is a negative. In this one, a negative times a negative is a positive. Over here, when I have fractions, all I'm going to do for these is I need to multiply straight across. 4 over 30, and then I can reduce it, divide both top and bottom by 2, and I'm going to end up with, not 4 anymore, 2 over 15. Now, my other option, I can actually reduce before I even begin. So like in this one, I see this 4 and 6. I can divide both of those by 2. The 4 can divide by 2 to be 2, and that into 3. Now it's easier to multiply straight across 2 over 15. I can even do it multiple times. The 2 and the 10 can reduce to be 1 and 5 if I divide them both by 2. The 7 and 21, I can divide both those by 7 and be left with 3 and 1. Now I can go straight across 1 and 15 on the bottom. Now, when I do division here, it's really simple. We can say it's called, how do I say, keep, switch, flip. Or sometimes you say stay, switch, flip, SSF, different ways. I like to say invert and multiply, or flip and multiply, whatever you want to do. So to rewrite that, I'm going to invert the second one and multiply. And now I can reduce it the same way I just did. So make that a 5 and a 1, make this a 1 and a 3, and I have my 1 over 15, just like I did here. I end up with the same answer on that one. Now, these last ones right here with the exponents. If I have a fraction with an exponent, I can just distribute that 3 in for both the numerator and the denominator. 2 to the third power, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 to the third on the bottom is 27. Over here, we just said 3 to the third is 27. If I have negative 3 to the third, that means negative times a negative times a negative. Negative times negative gives me a positive. One more negative is still left, so the answer is going to be a negative 27. Now if I had negative 3 squared, that's negative 3 times negative 3. Negative times negative will give me a positive 9 as my answer there. So those are just your basic real number operations that we should be familiar with.